What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about 5 reasons why you should pick up the LG V50 in 2021 and even 2022. This is going to be an awesome pick because it's very cheap right now. So my first thing about this phone would be build quality, and going back to it being cheap, 189 bucks for this phone, and technically makes it one of the cheapest 5G phones that you can pick up right now. You can get it on Verizon or Unlocked, and man, is that just an awesome price. 180, that's less than 200 bucks, guys. It's just crazy. The reason why I say number one is build quality, this has one of my favorite designs of all time because it has a completely flat camera back here, so it does make it a little bit slippery and stuff like that, so it does slide and stuff like that if you don't have like a case for it. But man, is it a nice phone. Also, the 5G logo lights up, and we got our triple camera setup back here, power button, volume rockers, even a Google Assistant button, which I love. And you also have on here headphone jack with the quad DAC, so for high audio listening or high quality audio listening, this phone is going to be a very awesome pick. Stereo speakers and USB Type-C are on board as well, so build quality is definitely my favorite thing about this phone. Number two is going to be the display quality here. So I'm just a sucker for a great display. 1440p is pretty much standard for me, and this is a very sharp panel here, so it's a 2K display. When you're watching videos or playing games, it just looks really nice. It's a POLED display. It's also HDR10 at 6.4 inches, so it's not a super massive display, but still a very good size for watching movies and stuff like that. And it's 538 for the PPI, so everything is just super detailed on this display, and it gets really bright as well, and it's a fairly color accurate display. So again, for that price point, you're not going to find a 1440p display for 189 bucks. So it's just an awesome display to look at, and like I said, icons and everything super sharp, very nice to look at. So it's just a really nice display, guys. Yeah, so if you get the V50s, you can actually attach a dual screen case to this one, but not with the standard V50. If you get the S version, you know, you can have like 2 phones in one, just like with the, you know, V60, the Velvet. So that is also something to consider. So this is a great phone when it comes to the display here. Number 3, I would definitely say the specs on here. So we do have the Snapdragon 855. This phone is upgradable to Android 11 with the Adreno 640, micro SD support, and 128 gigs of internal storage and 6 gigs of RAM. This phone performs extremely well when gaming. Check out my full gaming test. Call of Duty, Fortnite, PUBG. This can play at high settings, 0 issues. So it is actually a beast when it comes to gaming performance. Also, this phone has no issues multitasking and really just going through Android, bouncing in and out of applications. You're really not going to see any lags or stutters. You know, a lot of people have said stuff about the LG skin, but it actually runs very smooth. You know, when it was if you update it, it runs very smooth. So I've just never had an issue with their skin. And yeah, Snapdragon 855 is going to be a beast on this phone. In addition to just talking about the specs, you do have NFC on this phone as well, again as the Hi-Fi quad DAC. Screen sharing is automatically on here. Screen recording is on here as well. And also you get some pretty nice sounding stereo speakers as well, which I'll go ahead and let you hear. You can definitely hear a lot of thumping bass once you put the phone down. Now, I don't think these are LG's best speakers. I still think LG's best speakers probably are with the LG V60 and the G7, but these sound pretty good, very loud. Also, one of the things I miss on the newer LG phones is not so much the physical fingerprint scanner, which works fine. But this phone actually has face unlock, and they took it off the V60 and the newer ones. But this one does have face unlock, and it works perfectly fine. So that's something that I absolutely missed there. But yeah, so feature-wise, you have a lot to work with here. Now, believe it or not, you actually do have some excellent cameras on the LG V50. I still think they're up there with like high-quality mid-range phones. They still take a fantastic photos here, and I think it even does better in the as you know, image processing part where we're talking about color accuracy. This does a phenomenal job with colors, give you very natural colors. You have a 12 megapixel standard, a 12 megapixel telephoto, 16 megapixel ultra wide with 4K at 60 frames, and then you actually have a dual camera setup, which we don't see a lot these days for the selfie cam. So you have an 8 megapixel standard and then a 5 megapixel wide lens for like group selfies and stuff like that, and then that shoots in 1080p. Image quality is fantastic on the V50. Again, I have no issues. One of my favorite things, again, definitely has to be the color accuracy on here. You get very clean shots, good detail. Ultra wide is very close to the main lens as well. Portrait shots come out really good too. You get a good blur. So yeah, so cameras on here are fantastic. Alright, so last is going to be battery life. So this phone has pretty good battery life at this price point. Again, not going to be like, because when you look at some of the other $200 phones, they have like 5,000 milliamp batteries, so they're going to do a better job than this one. But this one has a 4,000 milliamp battery, but what those phones don't have is wireless charging, and this one does have it. It's got 18-watt fast charging as well. And yeah, so battery life is pretty good on this phone. I can easily get through a full day, no problem. And yeah, like I said, if you use 5G, so that might vary. But yeah, so I just been absolutely loving the LG V50. I think there's still, you know, a great reason to use this phone, especially if you are into audio. Just using it as like your, you know, main audio phone. The quad DAC is definitely a slept-on feature. Only a few phones really have that quad DAC feature, at least new phones. So I think ROG does it and Sony still has one. But if you don't want to spend a ton of money on that, definitely get a V50. It is definitely worth the money, guys. So be sure to let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.